modern supplements promise energy, healing, and balance, but deliver almost nothing. Meanwhile, medieval herbs were strong enough to stop infections, calm the nervous system, and save lives. So, what made ancient plants powerful medicine? And why are today's capsules basically dead on arrival? The lie. Sitting in your medicine cabinet, walk down any supplement aisle, and it feels like a pharmacy of miracles. Bottles shouting promises: immune boost, stress relief, anti-inflammation. But most of these powders don't actually do anything meaningful. And deep down, you probably already know that. You swallow your daily capsules expecting clarity, calm, better sleep, but nothing really changes. The uncomfortable truth is that modern supplements aren't built to heal you. They're built to survive manufacturing, shipping, and shelf time. The herbs inside have been grown on exhausted soil, harvested too early, dried too fast, heated too high, and stored too long. By the time you open the bottle, the plant inside has lost almost every compound that once made it medicinal. Medieval people didn't have this problem. Their herbs were living, potent, and chemically rich in a way that modern supplements can't replicate. When they treated fevers, infections, heart issues, digestive problems, they used plants that actually worked. Not because medieval people were smarter, but because their herbs were alive. Today's capsules aren't natural medicine. They're dehydrated leftovers pretending to be healing. Medieval herbalists knew something we forgot. 800 years ago, herbal medicine wasn't a side hobby or a lifestyle trend. It was serious, structured, and surprisingly scientific. Monks in medieval monasteries spent centuries studying plants, creating detailed herbal manuals, and refining remedies based on results. They weren't guessing. They were observing, testing, and recording. When someone showed up with pain or fever, they didn't hand them a mass-produced pill. They brewed fresh willow bark, packed with salicin, the chemical that later inspired aspirin. Heart problems? Foxglove was a standard treatment, long before modern medicine turned it into digitalis, a life-saving heart drug still used today. These healers didn't just use single herbs, they used powerful combinations. They understood synergy long before the word existed. They knew certain plants amplified each other, made each other stronger, more effective, more healing. And most importantly, they used herbs at their peak, when the plant still had life, oils, nutrients, and active compounds intact. Medieval medicine wasn't mystical, it was practical. It worked because the plants worked. The soil was different, and so were the plants. Here's where the modern world breaks the chain of healing. Our plants aren't the same plants our ancestors used. Medieval herbs grew in soil that was alive, dense with minerals, microbes, and organic matter. This kind of environment forces a plant to become chemically rich, producing strong flavors, strong aromas, and strong medicinal compounds. Today's herbs are usually grown on depleted industrial farmland. The soil is tilled repeatedly, sprayed with chemicals, and stripped of life. A plant grown in dead soil becomes a dead plant. Flat, weak, low in nutrients, low in active compounds. And when that weak plant is dried, heated, powdered, and shipped across the world, whatever tiny amount of medicine it once had disappears completely. A medieval sage leaf and the sage capsules in your cabinet might share a name, but chemically, they're not even close. One came from a thriving ecosystem. The other came from a field designed for mass production, not medicine. And once you understand this difference, you realize something important. Your supplements aren't failing because herbs don't work. They're failing because the herbs aren't alive anymore. Fresh versus factory. How processing kills plants. If medieval herbalists could see how supplements are made today, they wouldn't just be shocked, they'd laugh. In their world, herbs were used minutes or hours after being picked. A leaf went from stem to tea in the same afternoon. A root was crushed into a paste before its oils evaporated. Everything was done fast, fresh, and with purpose. Now compare that to the modern supplement industry. Most herbs you buy today start dying long before you ever swallow them. They're harvested in giant fields, often mechanically, then dumped into industrial dryers that use heat so high it destroys essential oils, enzymes, and delicate compounds. What's left is a brittle, brown, scentless material that looks more like mulch than medicine. Then it gets worse. The dried plants are ground into powder, sometimes months after harvesting. Then that powder is shipped to a warehouse, then to a processing plant, then into capsules, then to another warehouse, then finally to a store shelf, where it sits for who knows how long. By the time you buy a bottle, the plant inside has been dead for months. The vitamins have degraded, the oils have evaporated, the flavonoids and alkaloids, the parts that actually help your body, have broken down. So, yes, technically your supplement contains herbs, but in the same way a dried up orange rind technically contains vitamin C. You're swallowing plant dust, not plant medicine. Medieval doses versus today's capsules. Even if today's supplements weren't dead on arrival, the dosage would still be a problem. Medieval healers didn't microdose. They weren't shy about using strong, therapeutic amounts of herbs, because they needed results. If you had a fever, you didn't get a single capsule of powdered ginger. You got a hot, fiery ginger brew strong enough to make your whole chest warm. If your heart was weak, you weren't handed a half-strength foxglove extract. You were given a carefully measured dose that actually changed heart function. Modern supplements, they're made to be safe for everyone, which really means too weak to do anything noticeable. A capsule might contain 250 milligrams of something, but medieval herbalists would use 2 grams, or 5 grams, or more. They weren't afraid of potency, they understood it. And here's the part most people never hear. Some capsules don't even dissolve properly. Studies have found undissolved supplements still intact in the intestines, meaning the contents never even enter your bloodstream. Medieval healers didn't have this problem. Their medicine didn't need to dissolve. It was already alive and already active. The difference is simple. Medieval healers delivered medicine. We deliver marketing. Lost herbal alchemy when plants worked together. Modern supplements are obsessed with isolating single ingredients. 1 capsule for sleep, 1 for stress, 1 for inflammation. But medieval herbalists understood something deeper, that plants are strongest when they work together. A single herb has power, yes, but 2 or 3 herbs combined in the right way, that's when the real alchemy happens. Take infections, for example. Garlic alone is helpful, honey alone is soothing. But medieval healers understood the combination. Fresh garlic crushed into raw honey created a synergy that amplified the antibacterial effects of both ingredients. Your supplement bottle, it usually holds 1 isolated ingredient, maybe 2. No synergy, no supporting herbs, no chemistry, just a lonely, weakened plant that's expected to do the work of an entire formula. Medieval healers treated the whole system, the body, the mind, the spirit. Modern supplements treat symptoms 1 capsule at a time, which is why people take bottles of pills and still feel nothing, and why medieval herbal medicine, imperfect as it was, often worked. The herbal industry doesn't want potent herbs. Here's the part most people never think about. If herbs were actually potent, the supplement industry would lose billions. The moment a plant becomes too strong, too fresh, too active, it becomes unpredictable. It expires quickly. It needs special storage. It can't sit on a store shelf for 2 years. And that's a problem for companies that make money by selling the idea of healing, not healing itself. So, what do? Independent tests have found supplements containing little to no active ingredient at all, just fillers, rice powder, maltodextrin, or cheap plant substitutes. Some bottles labeled Ginkgo biloba contain nothing but ground houseplants. Others claimed high potency, but delivered less than 10% of the advertised compound. Medieval healers would have laughed at this. They didn't measure herbs by milligrams. They measured them by results. A fever broke, or it didn't. Pain eased, or it didn't. A wound healed, or it didn't. Today, we measure success by packaging, branding, and shelf appeal. The supplement industry doesn't sell medicine. It sells reassurance. It sells comfort. It sells the illusion that you're doing something healthy without delivering the thing that actually makes herbs powerful: life. How to actually use herbs the medieval way. If you want herbs to work the way they did for your ancestors, you have to unlearn everything the supplement aisle taught you. Medieval people didn't rely on capsules, powders, or extracts. They used plants as living organisms, not commodities. They harvested them at peak potency, prepared them immediately, and consumed them while their chemical profile was still active. And the truth is, you can still do that today. Fresh herbs are always stronger than dried ones. Local herbs, grown in real soil, not industrial farmland, have more nutrients and phytochemicals than store-bought varieties. Tinctures, teas, infusions, and salves extract more active compounds than capsules ever could. And when you grow even a small herb garden at home, you're interacting with plants the way your ancestors did, alive, aromatic, potent, and full of natural medicine. You don't need to become a medieval monk to use herbs effectively. You just have to reconnect with plants as plants, not products. Understand their seasons. Learn when to harvest. Use the right part of the plant. Prepare it with intention. And recognize that the closer you are to the source, the stronger your results will be. Modern supplements try to give you convenience. Medieval herbs gave people healing, and those two things rarely coexist. What we lost and what you can recover. It's easy to think medieval medicine was primitive, that people back then were guessing, hoping, praying for a cure. But in reality, they were using living plants grown in healthy ecosystems, harvested at peak potency, and combined in ways that modern science is only now beginning to understand. Their herbs weren't magic, they were just alive. Our supplements, on the other hand, are the opposite. Convenient, shelf-stable, mass-produced, and chemically empty. They have traded potency for profit, freshness for efficiency, life for packaging, and somewhere in that trade, the healing disappeared. So, the next time you swallow a capsule and wonder why you don't feel anything, remember this: you're trying to heal with a plant that died a long time ago. But the good news is simple. You can bring the medicine back. You can grow it, brew it, mix it, and use it the way your ancestors did. Alive, vibrant, and full of natural power. Because medieval people weren't wrong. They were just working with better plants. What are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for the latest videos.